Hey, 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 we are live. We are live. Okay, so you're probably wondering why we are on live so early. Um, but uh we have guests staying with us. So Mark's brother and his girlfriend are staying with us. And they'll be home, I'm guessing around 7 o'clock. So hence why we started the live early. I know I didn't give any warning, but sometimes things happen last minute. So I was just like thinking, oh, I was saying to Mark sort of at lunchtime, do you think we should do the live earlier today? And he was umming and ahhing because he wasn't going to finish work in time to sort of join us at the beginning. Um, and so he was like, oh, let's leave it at the normal time, but we're going to finish early anyway, because obviously the brother and the girlfriend are staying with us. So I'm just thinking, do you know what? Just to give that bit of extra time, let's just start a little bit early. So thank you for anyone who is able to join us early. Mark will be here. He'll be coming in a bit. He's just finishing off work. And so, yeah, how has everyone been and how was your weekend? Our weekend was quite good, actually. Hey, Eva, how are you? I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me early. Mark will be here soon. He's just, like I said, working away. So I'm just talking about weekend. How was everyone's weekends? Is the first thing. And our weekend was quite good. So my nephew contacted me, our younger nephew, and he was like, "Oh, Auntie Kitty, what are you doing this weekend?" And I said, "Well," I said, "Well, I haven't got anything planned, but do you want to go to the Carvery? And then we can go to the O2 and have a look at what's happening there, because there was a train strike this weekend, so we couldn't go into London." So I said, you know what, let's go to the O2. And I said, have you been before? And it's really funny with the younger nephew, because there's quite a lot of places that there's quite a lot of places that he's been to, and quite a lot of places that he can't remember going to because he was so little. And so my mum took him to the Shard a couple of months ago, and it was around, because him and my mum, their sort of birthdays are very close to each other. I think it's like a week between the two. And so she took him to the Shard. So that was his first time from memory of actually going into London. So that was his first experience. Hey, Thunder, how are you? I hope you're well. I hope you've got another installment for us, or about to have another installment for us. So yeah, so it was his first time, and it was nice that my mum took him to the Shard kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? I'm having a rough time health wise, but other than that, okay. Well, that's good, and I'm glad it ended positive. Do you know what I mean? You're having a rough time health, but other than that, everything's okay. So that's good. Um, and yeah, so his first time sort of experiencing London from memory was my mum taking him to the Shard. So that was quite nice for him to experience, because he's 15, 14, 15. And so that was nice for him to actually experience the Shard for the first time, and to sort of experience London from his memory for the first time. And then about a week or so later, we brought him into London, and we took him to the South Bank, we took him to Soho, we took him to Covent Garden, took him to the Crypt. And then the following week, then Mark took him again to London. So he's really getting to experience. The older brother has goes to London all the time. And so he sort of like, but it's very funny because I've always sort of like lived in London, and grew up in London. So I know it like the back of my hand. And so I know how to get quickly from one area to another area, or not as quickly, maybe I just know the route, sort of thing. Mark equally has lived in London for over 20 years, but his bearings are terrible. So if I say, oh, yeah, we're going this way, he just relies on me to lead the way. But when I was talking to the older nephew, And I said to him, "Oh, do you know how to get to wherever?" He goes, "Oh no, we just sort of stumble across it." Because I'll say, "Oh, like, have you been to Covent Garden? Have you been here? Have you been there?" And he'll be like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Do you know how to get there?" "Well, we just stumble across it," kind of thing. But I think because I used to temp as well, and as a temp, you get to know the areas of London pretty well because you either take bus or you walk. You can tube it, don't get me wrong, tube is really quick. But in order to know London, it's better just to walk the streets and then get to know London that way. So I have been very lucky to get to know little pockets of London that, to be quite honest, I never would have seen if I hadn't temped for so many years. So it's nice just to bring my nephew and show him the little routes, show him the little places that he can go to. And yeah, he really enjoyed it. So this time we took him to the O2, and he had been before once. He vaguely remembers that he went with the school, sort of like primary school. And so, yeah, and now they got the outlets there because before the O2, it just had the restaurants and, well, even before that, because it was the Millennium Dome, wasn't it? It was just, they had the body. Was it called body, where you saw the insides of the body and how it was made up and everything? It was quite gross. Quite gross as in gross to sort of look at, but obviously medically amazing. Do you know what I mean? I think it was called Bodies. And so that's what they had there. It was like an exhibition center. And then they closed that off and then they turned it into something else. I want to say they had something like Michael Jackson-ish there, I think, for a time. And now it's like, a concert venue, which is really good. And they built a load of restaurants there. And now they built these sort of on the outside now, they have these like little markets and street markets and stuff. I don't know if it. I'm imagining they'll probably do a Christmas market there. I can imagine it's a good place to do a Christmas market. So yeah, so I took him, but now they've got the outlets there. I mean, the outlets aren't great. It's not like if you go to the States and you go to the outlets. That's a different type of outlets and a different type of sale because that's proper sale items in the outlets. But we have the British version, which is not that great. It's like 20, 30 off of something, which is all nice, but not as good as 50% off or 70% off. That would be lovely when you get 50% off, and that's a real sale. So yeah, so he really enjoyed it. I tell you, he bought a lot. We bought him a lot of stuff, so I think he really enjoyed it, and it's quite nice. And I think it was my mum's first time as well going. I don't think she had been before. Mark and I had been once before, because it was only because I went to the O2 with my friend, and I was going, "Oh my god, they got outlet shops here," and she was like, "Yeah." We were going to I can't remember what we were going to see, or we were going to a restaurant. But the outlets were closed at that time, so I couldn't go and have a look at them. But this was good. This time we were able to go have a look and actually enjoy the shops and that. So that was quite nice. Um, okay, I'm good, thank you. How are you? I'm well, thank you. Thank you for asking. Ha ha ha. And yes, I will have another installment, I think, by Tuesday. Wow, wow, wow. Hang on a second. Today we are Tuesday, right? So do you mean by Tuesday next week? I'm assuming next week, Tuesday, as I will see him sometime this week. Okay, so yeah, next Tuesday. But I do have something random to say. I love hearing random things, so can't wait. Please ask the question. You will forever be the sis I never had and absolutely adore you. Thank you, Aoife. You're so kind. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I agree. You are both lovely people. Oh, thank you, guys. That's so nice. Oh, so lovely. I can never stop getting a compliment. You know what I mean? But you equally all are so lovely and so lovely to join us. Do you know what I mean? Have a chat with us. We love engaging with you guys. So it's just so nice to get to chat to you. And Thunder, I love hearing your installments. Do you know what I mean? But I'm glad. Yeah, I prefer. I've got to say, I do prefer the lives. I like making the videos and stuff like that. I don't like the editing part. I feel that gets on my nerves a little bit, which then leads me to drag to do the new video. And at the moment I'm sort of like have a little bit of side projects that I'm doing. So but I do try to keep up with the shorts. So I've got a few old videos that I never did as shorts, and I recently uploaded one. So I've been to the Victoria Ivy a couple of times. So I went once with my mum and then another time with some friends. And I uploaded one today, and the one with the friends was earlier this year, or was it earlier last year? Earlier this year, I think it was. And so it was nice just to show. We went for brunch. It was quite cold, so it was, I think, yeah, it was earlier this year in the year. And I didn't get a chance to do it because sometimes when you're with friends, you can't film. They don't like to be filmed. You can't film a lot of things, or sometimes they do. They don't mind being filmed, but then you want to enjoy their company rather than filming. So I think I always do like a quick TikTok and sort of like try and minimize the intrusiveness of filming them, kind of thing. So I did a quick short which was and I was looking at it, and I have a chocolate bomb as a dessert, and there was a foam, and I think it was a white chocolate foam, and that foam was so delicious, and the chocolate bomb, and they melted it with caramel, and there was ice cream inside. Oh, when I think of that bomb, I think, when am I going to go to the Ivy in Victoria again? I have to. The dessert was so good, and I always like duck. I did feel that the duck there was a little bit, not dry, but just a bit too crunchy. And here comes
Hello,
Mark.
hello. Oh, what a day, what a day. So I was expecting to come 9 minutes earlier, but there we are.
It's okay. You're here now.
Hello, Thunder. How is everybody? Oh, and Aoife, hello.
Yes, Aoife's on. So Thunder says, glad to hear you're well. You're glowing. Thank you. Do you know what? It's so cold. I've just put my nightgown on.
Yeah, I
So
know.
I mean, how's it in the conservatory? Is it
Do you know
cold?
what? Actually, the conservatory's warm.
Oh, wow.
It's because the sun comes in.
Mm,
So it
mm,
heats it
mm.
up. So I got free. How is everybody? Kels, I will try to do some TikToks next week.
Oh.
We'd like to see that, actually, Aoife.
Yeah.
Now then, guys, we're just going to show our latest purchase. I've hidden them. Okay, so here we go.
We kind of saw them when you came. But
1, 2, 3. So we got some Starbucks pumpkin mugs. So this is what we've been drinking out of, actually.
They're so cute.
They
don't
are
you think?
really, really good, aren't they? So these are, do you remember how much they were?
£14.
So they are quite pricey,
Yeah.
but they are quite novel. We did like the shape of them. So that's going to, and also they make a nice little display. You could even, if you wanted to, you could have a plant growing out of that.
Oh, yeah, I suppose so. Or you could make a mug cake. I don't know if it's microwave safe.
No,
though.
they're not. I don't think
Oh,
they
yeah,
are.
do not microwave. Okay, so it's
Yeah,
not
so
microwave
with
safe.
these, they're not dishwasher safe, and they are not. Hi, Aoife, how are you? Hi, Mark. You look fresh. Oh, do you know what? I'm glad. I've had a lot of coffee, so that's why I look fresh. Thank you.
And I've ordered some drinks, so some drinks should be coming soon.
I'll come do that a bit. We could have them in our mugs.
Because I ordered a venti for you, so it won't fit in yours, but a tall might fit in mine.
Yeah. Well, I'll put in there. So we will drink from our little mugs. We should have done this at the beginning.
Yeah.
So but we thought we'd just like to share that to you. So that is going to be our little Halloween thing.
We'll be drinking out of those.
What were you talking about?
So I was just talking about what we did this weekend, and I was just talking about, I uploaded a short, and it was one that I had done a while ago. I think I couldn't remember if it was at the beginning of this year or last year. But I believe it was at the beginning of this year, where I went with Rachel and my friends Rachel and Fritzy, and we went to the Ivy in Victoria, and I've only been there twice. I went there once with my mum before Wicked, and if anybody knows me, Wicked, the show is my absolute favourite show, and I always go see it once a year. So I'm due to go and see it at some point. Yeah. I can't remember. Did I go see it at the beginning of the year?
I was just reading Thunder's comment. I was going to say, you've got everyone chasing you. She said, coincidentally, a guy who had a crush on for 7 years, was my good friend, popped up and now wants to date me out of nowhere. But it's something spiritual for sure. Do you know what? They do say that, actually, when you actually start seeing somebody, you because you have that air about it, you have that air of confidence. I think people find you more attractive.
Yeah, I want to read the one above because I didn't get to finish it Tuesday. This weekend we may meet. She's talking about the guy.
Oh, okay.
The random thing is that
one of the many guys.
Yeah, that I finally let go of people in my past and really like him. Sorry. The random thing is that I finally let go of people from my past and I really like him. Oh, okay. I don't get the
I think
last
what
part, but
she's
I think it relates to this
yeah,
part
yeah,
where the
yeah,
guy
yeah. I
popped
think
up.
what she's saying is so people she's let go of people in their past, but now they've come back up.
Right, right,
So they
right,
come
right,
back up
right,
to
right.
there. Well, you see, obviously that shows you're very
Mm.
popular, very attractive, and that's why people are attracted to you.
Oh yeah, and I see that Aoife's gonna do the TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Interesting.
Aoife said she loved the pumpkin mugs, and also Mark, when you're going to make Kel's a hot chocolate with all the toppings. Well, funny enough, she's got one coming.
Funnily enough, do you know what? When my nephew came, he had hot chocolate, didn't he?
Yeah,
He had quite a few.
I was using the
Hotel
velvetizer.
chocolate, yeah. I need. They should do a cookies and cream. I'm going to see if they do a cookies and cream because I know he would love that.
Well, I don't think they do. I don't think they do.
Yeah, but you never know
They might
what
have
new flavors they bring out. What new flavors? Now, what do we think then of Thunder's past friend? Not past friend, but her friend from the past is now interested.
Well, from my perspective, this new date is new. So you and this obviously old flame has just come into your life.
Not an old flame. He was just a friend before, so he's not an old flame.
So just come back. So, but the way you worded it to me suggests it could potentially become more. That's what it sounds like to me.
So the question then becomes,
and Aoife's right. Christmas is only just around the corner.
Yeah, I know, isn't it? I've been looking at some like making a gingerbread house this year.
Mark. So Aoife said, Mark, Starbucks or one of the Nesquik Dolce Gusto hot chocolates.
We've not tried the.
We've not tried those.
Hey, Andrea, how are you?
Andrea,
hola. Let's get
Cheers.
our Starbucks mugs.
So we're just waiting for the Starbucks to turn up. So I'll fill it in.
Yeah, I think mine will fit in. I don't think yours will fit.
Well, I can kind of fit it in part.
Well, you can
fill it up.
two halves maybe. But
how are you, by the way?
This will be the time to measure the sizes of the drinks to see if they are true to size.
Damn, it's pumpkin season. It certainly is. So we're doing our Halloween celebration. So Thunder said, I really, really like the guy I'm currently going out with.
Right.
My Wi-Fi's really so thank you, but not popular at all, actually. I bet you probably are. Well, clearly you are.
Clearly.
Eva said, Mark Kells, the carvery meal you posted are yummy.
Oh, yeah.
I did. Was really good.
Quick TikTok that was as well. Because obviously we filmed it before.
Sorry. And Andrea said also as well, it's my boyfriend's birthday. So happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday to your boyfriend. Yeah,
happy birthday to your boyfriend. Many happy returns. Are you guys going out tonight? Are you celebrating? What are you guys going to be doing?
Do something nice, I hope.
Yes, clearly you are popular. I let a lot of people from my past go because currently like the guy I'm dating now. Well, that to me says everything. That to me says if you've let all these people go for the current guy, then that's your decision.
Do you mean the people that you let go in your past are your friends, or do you mean they're like guys that sort of liked you? You were kind of thinking about it, but you've dropped all of them and you're focusing on this one. Or do you mean both? You've dropped friends and you've dropped past sort of boyfriends who are, not quite, because you get those guys that don't quite commit. And so you sort of get rid of them.
Crushes. Yes, they're crushes.
Crushes. Right.
So here's a dilemma for you. If these guys came back and asked you out, what would you think to do? So if all these past guys came back and said, look, I really wanted to go out for you. I didn't get the chance, or for whatever reason I didn't, but now I'm here. Would you consider dating them?
And the guy who was a friend who's now interested in you, was he a crush? Did you have a crush on him previously?
Look at this, we're turning into a relationship advice channel. Eva said, Mark Kelly, I need your input on an instructor on Udemy. Okay, go on, what happened? What's the instructor said?
Oh, and I don't even know what Udemy is.
Oh, Udemy's you do different courses on Udemy. So it's an online course thing that you do.
Okay. Yeah, so I think the question is, is the past guy, Thunder, this is to you, is the past guy that now likes you or has asked you out for a date, we had crushes on each other at different points, but he never wanted a relationship.
No, he never did. That's the key, but it sounds like you may have done. So possibly this could go. But now, when I let him go, he's back the next day. Well, yeah, that's. But that, you know what happens? That what, and the reason that happens in relationships when you let somebody go is because the attention's lost from them. But just be wary that as soon as you start to show attention back, they don't go again. So people tend to go when the attention is off.
Sorry, I'm going to just interrupt there. I think that if he wasn't showing interest in you at the time when you were both free and able to be in a relationship, then is it to the left, to the left?
So Aoife said, a chap who nags about watching lectures do all the exercises and you haven't said the last bit. We'll wait for you to do the last bit. Andrea said, well, I was in a very bad place with my ex. He would ignore me all the time, and I met my current boyfriend on Christmas Day last year and got together in April. So we were together for 6 months only. So so there you go. So what Andrea is saying is basically she was with the ex. Correct me if I'm wrong.
This is Andrea now.
Yeah, Andrea.
Andrea.
And Andrea said that he's with the ex, and then this person came along on Christmas Day. So basically, you met somebody else there, and you were able then to go on to a much better relationship, going from April onwards. And that's really nice to hear, actually, that you've gone from that, because you were saying as well it was a very bad place with your ex. So it's nice that you could actually move on. Eva said he won't give an Oxford Learning School certificate without all the prerequisite crap. Well, actually, the thing is just arrived. With that, are you suggesting that he's being a bit pretentious? Because that's what it sounds like. Never let someone with their grading determine what you want to do. You know, you should follow your own path. And like I said, you shouldn't have to jump through hoops to do what you want to on Udemy. You should be able to do the bits you want.
But have you already taken the course is the question. And now he won't give you the certificate without all the...
I'm just going to go downstairs and get everything.
So basically, do you have to... Is it one of those ones like where you have to prove that you have the relevant qualifications or scores in order to take that course? So by that rationale, you would have to produce the stuff in order to go on the course. And so not everyone checks, but a lot of courses, like a course that Mark did, they needed him to have done a specific course in order for him to do that course. So he had to provide the evidence for that. And he didn't, and so he had to provide the evidence to show that yes, he has got these scores in order to go on that course. Okay, so he knows that I do not want to go out with him, so we've just been speaking as friends. But he said he's sad now because there's another guy in my life. Well, do you know what? Just speaking as friends was not fulfilling your, do you know what I mean? What you needed. So it was all right to give him what he needed, which was just chat and all of that. But then when it was wanted to go anywhere further, he didn't want to give you, and now he's sad. Listen, to the left. You don't need guys like that. Trust me, I knew guys like that before Mark, and it was crazy. Broke up with my ex on the 27th of December. Now that's not the ex now. That's the other guy, right? The one that you're in a bad place with. And pushy, Chris Severite, I swear he ruined the Hug Holman patrols being met. Oh, really? Here we go. Okay, so that's the large one.
What did I miss? What did I miss? Put that on there.
That's my one. So I'm gonna pop that in here.
So he said,
I'm gonna take that.
Oh yeah, so Andrea was saying, I want to catch up on this. Andrea said, I broke up with my ex on the 27th of December. That's quite difficult, actually.
Yeah.
Doing the breakup as well.
Just after Christmas.
Eva said, Chris Silver, I swear, he ruined my Holman protocol being met. You were talking about that actually having to do specific qualifications to do a course. So I had to do that on one of the courses.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
And you're right. That's just part of it. Look at this in my mug. But don't let that put you off. It is hard because I had to do 2 qualifications while doing the course in order to do the course, which they allow me to do the course as long as I was doing the other qualification whilst doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you've got the qualifications, then just show him the. Do you know what I mean? The qualifications that you have.
Oh yeah, Thunder. These are our new mugs. So
and then just, do you know what I mean? So if it is the fact that he's saying, oh, you need this requisite, that prerequisite, and if you've got them already, then just show them to him. If you don't have them, then obviously it's going to be a problem. But if you've got them already, then just show them.
So Andrea said, 2 days before I broke up with my ex, I met my current boyfriend who supported me through and made me feel better. Got together in April and I've been happier than ever since then. And do you know what? That's such a nice story as well, because when you're in that bad place, you've got that person and you shared that journey together.
Yeah.
Which is really, really nice. So cheers to that. Well done. And it does sound like you're in a much better, happier place.
And look at mine fit in. I knew it would.
There you go.
Mine was only a tall.
Did you get a hot chocolate?
No, I got a chai tea latte.
Cheers to you guys. And they are cute Starbucks mugs. They are quite pricey. I didn't realise they're 15 quid each, but
14, but yeah.
Where are we? Aoife said he's so needy. Nag. Do you know what, Aoife? Like I said, with people like that, the best thing to do is try and distance yourself as much as possible from them.
Well, no, he's the guy. He's the
lecturer.
He's the lecturer. Oh, God. Yeah.
It sounds to me like he's got a superiority complex.
Yeah, and but like I said, if he's needing these prerequisites, just prove that you've got them.
You've got loads of qualifications.
Yeah,
as well.
just prove that you've got them. So that's if you have them.
There's some links on YouTube which I missed due to all the stuff I've been through, and my mind wasn't onto things. No, the other thing is with a lot of courses, you can do what they call a BIL, B-I-L, which is a break in learning. So if you go through some traumatic experience, which I know you have, obviously you've had your health issues, most courses will allow you to take a break in your learning pattern. So it is worth searching that, because as well, if you are struggling, and like I said, because you've not been able to catch up, they will make allowances for that. So do check that out. It's worth checking with your specific course. Not all of them does, but it is worth checking.
Yeah.
Thunder said, I have to say, I've even tried a Starbucks drink. I've never tried. Oh yeah, because it mistyped. I've never tried a Starbucks drink. Any recommendations? Now that will really depend on your taste. If you like coffee, you're in for a treat. But if you like sweet drinks, Madame is the person to.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that they don't like coffee, and that's a given because coffee can be really bitter. However, the frappuccinos do not taste like they have coffee in them. And they are really, I love the frappuccinos. Those are the cold drinks. Now, winter's coming up. So if you want the hot drinks, hot chocolate, and you don't want coffee, hot chocolate are ones to go for, or the chai tea lattes. They're really good. We're enjoying chai tea latte at the moment. No coffee in them. It's like an aromatic, sweet, milky drink. It's really quite nice.
If you know the taste of cardamom, it's very much like that. The other drinks you can do, so all the frappuccinos, it's like almost like an ice cream drink. It's very, very.
I don't call them ice cream. I call them slushies.
Yeah, like a slushie.
They're like a milky slushie.
And we are going for our famous pumpkin cookie.
Yeah, that's Mark's thing.
It is my thing. Here we go. I break it.
No, I don't want any.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yeah. I got it for you. Okay. Don't break it because you always get it all over the laptop.
Okay. Where were we? Okay. So that's some ideas for drinks as well. I'd recommend, if you're doing a frappuccino, recommend the coffee one, the caramel one.
I recommend. I mean, if you don't, do you know what? The one that I would really recommend if you're new to frappuccinos is the white chocolate mocha. That's the one I do recommend. The white chocolate mocha with cream. And if you want to get caramel drizzle on top, do get caramel drizzle on top because the caramel drizzle is lovely. And then later on, try the caramel frappuccino. But I swear, the white chocolate mocha, which is a mixture of white chocolate and coffee, you will not taste the coffee. I promise you, you're not going to taste the coffee in a white chocolate mocha. But if you do want something that is less coffee tasting, and you're not confident, then go for the cream frappuccinos, cream based. So they will have no coffee in them. So you have the strawberries and cream. You have the white chocolate mocha, cream base. You also have the caramel frappuccino, and that is also cream base. So you can have pretty much all of the frappuccinos as cream base with absolutely no coffee in them. But I promise, if you do get the cookies and cream, if like something like Oreo cookies is your thing, they do cookies and cream. Or when I was going to my nephew, cookies and cream. Obviously, it's peaches and cream, but cookies and cream. Da, 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 da. Anyway, so yeah, if you like Oreo cookies, then definitely go for the cookies and cream. You will not taste the coffee. Both my nephews, who do not drink coffee, really enjoyed the cookies and cream. They really enjoyed it. I know.
I'm enjoying that cookie.
Yeah.
Thunder asks, have you two watched the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary?
No.
I have read up on Jeffrey Dahmer. Fascinating story.
Was he a serial killer? Yeah.
I don't know why. I just find reading on serial killers actually fascinating. If you like listening to serial killers, although it's a morbid topic, do read up on Ed Gein. Ed Gein is a very, very, very influential serial killer. He didn't kill that many people, but he's influenced a lot of modern movies today. So he influenced Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs. He influenced Norman Gates in Psycho quite a lot. Tanika, hello!
Hey, Tanika! How are you? I hope you're well.
You're well? You're good? We're just boasting about our new Starbucks mug. I say boasting, just showing them off. Our pumpkin thing. Aoife, so we had to give feedback and Q&A sessions in the and this isn't a qualification. It's a certificate saying that the course was completed, including the YT link and comment to the vids. The guy nags his course is not a qualification. It's not more than a person that undertakes the course and completes the exercise throughout the workbooks. If that's the case, do you know what? Just go attend, get your certificate, and then move on. Don't pay him any more time. That's what I would do.
Yeah, but if he's requesting it and he's the course tutor and not going to give out the certificates, then do you know what I mean? That's the point I think she's trying to make.
Just give him what he wants and you can get out of it.
Yeah, just and if you don't have the said qualifications, just recite to him, well, it's not needed in the in the course literature. Just say it's not listed that is needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Always back it up with your evidence. So just say there's no way.
Sure.
Show me. Say to him, show me where it lists that is required.
Yeah.
Thunder said any white hot chocolate drinks and stuff like that. So white hot chocolate, there are plenty of white hot chocolate drinks that they do. I'll let Madame, because that's more Madame.
The white. I'm telling you, the white mocha frappuccino. They are doing a white hot chocolate. I saw they're doing a normal hot chocolate and a white hot chocolate. But I'm telling you, white mocha. It's all about the white mocha. It's really, really good. The only reason why I don't get it that often is it's more calories than what the caramel is.
Oh, okay.
But if I could have the white chocolate mocha, I would choose that over the caramel frappuccino. It's only because we probably have I have a frappuccino probably about 2 to 3 times a week. And so I try to minimize, like at the moment I've got skimmed, but I still like the cream and the drizzle. So but I'll normally get skimmed frappuccino and stuff like that. And today, because I wanted a soya what you call it, a soya chai latte, I then ordered the skimmed milk. So
Aoife said 2 women have already have amazing feedback on the mental health workbook and the bronze workbook, and their input is not something I cannot better. The input and responses from the 2 women on the mental health. Oh, sorry, I think you put that in twice. Their inputs and responses to the workbook, the exercises. He is the tutor, not a qualification. Says in lecture 1, but the nagging puts me off.
Right. Just ignore the nagging.
Yeah, I would. I've worked with people, not now, obviously.
Yeah.
But I've worked with people that nag.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is try and get out, avoid them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Honestly, that's the best thing. I know it's something difficult, but sometimes it's what you don't need that negative energy in your life.
Right. Exactly. That's the thing, going back to what Thunder was saying before about getting rid of people, and that's the thing. You've got to, if anything or anybody makes you feel bad or adds a negative energy that you don't need, you kind of need to get rid of that. I've had a couple of friends who were really negative, and um there was one I understood why one friend was quite negative, although there were things that she could do to put her mind out of that negativity, but she never ever would. And so it was very difficult. But I had another friend, and she had achieved all this stuff. Like, she relied on herself, she bought her own place, she bought her own car, she achieved so much more than the average person these days, let alone average woman, but the average person, she achieved so much. And it was all, oh, this and all that and da 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 da. And I'm just thinking, do you know how amazing, like an amazing thing that you've done for yourself, that even let alone the average woman, but the average person can't do these days? But do you know how difficult it is to get on the property ladder or to own your own car and all of this, and to have done it all by no help from anyone? Like, when I bought my first property, I had help, but she did it with no help, and I just couldn't understand why she wasn't celebrating that. And so, yeah, you kind of have to, um and it is unfortunate because I do miss these friendships. However, I also have to think about my mindset and how I want to go forward and what I want to do in my life. And I think sometimes that has to take precedent. Someone sucking the energy or sucking the enjoyment or making you feel negative, or choosing yourself. And sometimes you just have to choose yourself.
So Tanika said, obviously, she's going to make dinner soon, but I'm negotiating work stuff for myself at the moment. I teach and they want me to do a massive project, but pay me the same. I feel I should be paid more. I'm a freelancer and I have done a lot of valuable work this year, but find it hard sometimes to ask for more money with certain projects. Hoping it pays off, I feel I should get more when it's a big project, not the usual job I do for a company. So this is an interesting one, because you'll find that as well. People were asking, and there's been all kinds of studies on this as well, but they do tend to say that sometimes women, not always, but sometimes women do get paid less for doing things like projects as well. And there's many reasons why this can happen, but some of the ones is and again, this might sound controversial, but sometimes as well, women can be obviously more agreeable than men, and sometimes that can be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So because of that, you want to definitely, and it's difficult. It's very, very difficult to put yourself forward to ask for money, because I suppose your inkling and your worry is how it's taken by the person on the other end. Are they going to become aggressive? Are they going to turn around to you and say, well, don't do it then, and I'm not going to offer you the job? But always, always, always know your own worth. There's a very interesting saying that I heard, and it's very, very true. You are never paid to what you're worth. You are paid to what you negotiate. And that's very, very true. So you sometimes see, you always hear this in some workplaces. Somebody will turn around and they'll say, well, so and so does less work than I do and they're paid so much more. And the reason being is that you are not paid to what you are worth. You are paid to what you've negotiated to your bosses. So that's really important. If you can negotiate and never be afraid to negotiate,
you can say something like, sorry darling, you can say something like, I'm not sure that there's room enough in the budget for this. So if you wanted to sort of without being talking about money and stuff, because some money in this country sort of like an unspoken sort of thing, when you want to negotiate, and this is very difficult. And a lot of when people are advertising for jobs, because when I'm looking at all of these things, it's like, oh yeah, competitive salary and all of this. Their idea of competitive and your idea of competitive are two different things. Now, what I find is either people want to pay for so you get this thing where people want to pay unrealistic money. So they're either paying for school leaver, or they're going to want to pay for someone experienced, and that's two different categories. Now, unless somebody who's really experienced wants to be paid school leaver money, then you have to have in your mind, right, what is it you're willing to accept? And you have to have a budget in your mind and all of this. Now, it sounds to me like the budget has been set. So if you had planned this project within that budget and now they change things, you can say, well, I'm not sure there's enough room for this within your current budget, within the current set budget.
Right, let me just go on to, because we're missing some of the comments. So Tanika was saying, sorry guys, I'm just going to scroll up to the comments. Yeah, I'm negotiating work stuff myself at the moment. I teach and they want me to do a massive project paying the same. No, sorry, we went through that one. Where were we? I've lost the plot. I'm back on the plot. Aoife said the white hot chocolate is a Christmas special. Talking about it. Found the same subject matter on HYGGE on the Centre of Excellence. I shall do that without the Oxford certificate. So okay. You can do that. Right. Tanika said, yes, I find it I can be too agreeable for sure. I got almost triple my usual pay from different companies this year. So being offered this amount from the client feels like a step backward.
Yeah.
But I've worked with them for years. So having a bit of a hard time getting the courage to negotiate. I like that quote a lot. She said, yeah. So remember, that's very, very true. Remember, if you don't negotiate, they will just assume you'll do it for the initial sum. So remember, whenever you go to negotiate, you've got to remember your self-worth. Now, if you've done work X amount, so like 3, 4, 5 times for greater salaries elsewhere, you've got to have that in your head. That is what I'm worth.
Yeah.
So when you go in, you don't need to be rude. Just say, look, I just want to talk about this project. Currently, I'm paid X. This project is going to demand more, right? So you can just say to, because that project was more, I would like to discuss my salary with you and my salary expectations in light of this increased workload. That's how I would put it. And that's how you can do it. Hang on, sorry, let me just finish.
Yeah.
And so what you also want to be able to do as well is have that in your head. Now, what you do need to remember is if you are going to go in there, you have to have in your mind what you want and go higher, because you can remember they're going to talk you down. So if you, I'm just going to quote a figure. I'm going to go a very low figure because obviously this is not what you're going to earn. But say you were on £10,000 a year and you want £20,000 a year. I would go in at 25, 26 because then they can only talk you down, and then doing it that way. But also, well, the other thing you've got to remember is as well, which is very important, what you will do if they turn you down. Will you carry on with the project or will you threaten to go? That's what you have to have in your mind. So 2 things, what you want and what you are prepared to do if they are not going to meet your expectations.
I'm going to give you a bit of a different spin than what Mark has. I agree with the last bit. The first bit of the negotiation, as a woman, it's not very easy. I know, to say what Mark is saying. I think it's very male. Like a male can go in and can say, you know, this. But I do think there is what you want, or what I believe it is that you're thinking about is how to negotiate. So you want to say something without outwardly saying, you know, I'm going to do the work for this money. You need to. I understand that, and I agree with you. I think in a male point of view, I think you can say that, but I think you saying I don't think there's enough room in the budget is politely saying, and then later on, if they're saying I don't know what you mean, then you can go into it further. Well, this body of work costs this amount. However, you want this, but already have the workings out of the cost of the extra bit of work that it is that they want you to do. Now you say, right, okay, so the terms were, the agreement was for this budget, this is what was going to happen. However, for this budget, it's going to cost, I'm afraid it's going to be, you'll need a larger budget, or whatever it is that you want to say. But I think it's difficult talking about money. It is very difficult, and talking and having to negotiate. Now there are certain people that you can negotiate money with, and you can walk in and say, well, I believe I deserve a pay rise and blah, blah, blah. Now I've got no problem. If I feel like I've been working hard and I can prove that I've been working hard, then I can go in and say, right, okay, well, I believe I've been working hard. But some companies, what they want you to do is they want you to back it up. They want you to prove that in the marketplace, blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't know what specialities that you, or what you specialize in per se, but if you can go online and find out what, um, as a freelancer, how much this body of work is paid, and if you can find it in several different places, like several different websites, and then they begin to question you, you can then bring out that evidence. Well, just to show you, for as an example, this body of work is this much, and this body of work is this much, and this body of work is this much.
But what I would say is, of course, Kelly and I aren't experts. There
Yeah.
are loads of really, really good YouTube
Yeah.
videos from psychologists. Do check those out. There's a few there. I won't recommend any per se, because there's definitely, I'll let you do your own research on that, only purely because I don't want to lead you around the wrong path. Not that I don't want to help you, but there's a lot of psychology which actually teach. If you type in how to negotiate a pay rise, there's some very, very good ones in there.
Yeah.
And they will help you. Funny enough, I have not so much on that, but on various things. Basically, how you can assertively ask,
Yeah.
but not be rude and not be offensive or antagonistic.
Sorry, I'm just going to say one more thing. I've got a I've got two experiences that I myself had. So I went to start a job, and the previous job that I left, this one, I was temping at. So I was getting paid a certain amount of money in the previous job. I left that job because I didn't get on with one of the managers, and their work ethic and my work ethic were just totally different. So I then moved and I started temping, and then I found this other job and they offered me the role. However, it was lower paid than my previous job. And so I said, I'm sorry, but I can't accept this role on this money. And they said, well, what is your salary expectation? And then so basically I was just going to uh, um, ask for the money that I was getting previously, but I thought, do you know what? I'm going to add on an extra 500. Now, 500 doesn't sound that much more than what I was getting at my previous job. However, that 500 goes towards something and helps in some type of way. And I remember when my manager came back to me, she said, the boss said, well, who does she think she is? And then my boss said to him, she's very good at what she does. So when someone appreciates you in the fact that you're very good at what you do, and they'd seen me because I'd been temping there for a certain amount of months, but that was how I negotiated, and they accepted the negotiation. But it was because my boss had spoken up on my behalf, because clearly they'd had people and they had a high turnover of staff, so it was beneficial for them to have someone like me, and I had a plethora of experience prior to this placement. And then later on, there was another a place that I was working at, and I actually went in and I said, look, I believe that I work more than anybody else. I had evidence to back it up. He didn't up my money, to be fair, but when the pay rises and the bonuses came, my money was upped on the bonus and my money was upped in my pay rise. So you may not get it straight away. I didn't get it straight away, but it did translate when I got my bonus and my pay rise. So,
So
that's just my experience.
So it very much is, though, a case by case basis. So again, it
For sure.
really will depend on your bosses and obviously the way they are. You'll know your bosses better than anybody
Yeah.
else, than we would as well. But definitely have a look on those courses online. Tanika said, thanks, guys. Your advice is very, very helpful. I've been stressing out a little bit, but hearing your opinion will help a lot. I plan to I'll plan out how to approach it, and then we'll let you know. Yeah,
Please do. Yeah.
That's a great idea too, referencing other salaries.
Yeah.
I teach a niche creative subject. The thing that changes the playing field is the project now involves a large brand, so I feel I should receive more. Kelly, that's exactly how I view it too. I feel unappreciated that I'm good at my job and have a lot of experience. I almost took it personally, and I know business rarely is. Appreciate the advice, guys, and good luck. So the other thing I was going to say to you is, oh, actual fact, I'll come on to that, Aoife. Actually, Aoife's dropped something in the comments there which might help. But the other thing is as well, just remember that as well. If you are niche, You're never paid to the amount of hours you work. You're always paid. Niche ups your salary.
Yeah.
Not always, but in a lot of cases, it will up your salary.
It's a niche market.
Because
Yeah.
it's a niche market, depending on obviously what the job is. So that tends to do it. Eva said, I'm undertaking a similar on Centre of Excellence and also psychology under Dr. Bev Knox. She's African heritage. She's of African heritage, but she at least makes my time worth it. Well, that's good. So it's good that you're actually enjoying it.
Yeah.
Eva also, she's also put something in the comments there as well on psychotherapy, up and coming diplomas and mindfulness, meditation and breathing, again, which might help you relax.
Yeah.
What we go. Oh yeah, and also Aoife as well. Just wanted to catch the other thing that Aoife said. Yeah, she's actually switched the platform as well. That's good.
Okay.
So you can do that as well.
Okay.
But yeah, it's always a difficult one.
Yeah.
These are what they call awkward conversations.
Yeah.
So you'll always have that. They do. You can get training and education on what they call awkward conversations. Again, it's really worth Googling. You might be able to get some of these videos on YouTube as well, what they call awkward conversations.
Yeah.
So it's having a very difficult, so it can work both ways. So if you're a manager as well, having to have an awkward conversation with a staff member, you know, that might be having to pull them up on something, especially if you have a close relationship, because you might think, well, if I talk to them, it's just going to ruin our relationship. And also vice versa, asking someone up higher, you think, oh no, is it going to, we've got a good working relationship, is it going to change that? Never be afraid to have that. And also as well, you cannot go through life avoiding awkward conversations.
Yeah.
You have to embrace them.
And I think, you know, in the end, and this doesn't go for everybody, but some people do respect you at the end of it. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel that I'm quite assertive. I'm not as assertive in all areas, but I am quite an assertive person. But that's only come with time. Like my mum's really cheeky. She's like really cheeky, but when it comes to certain things, I can be, but equally I have to be in that mood and I have to be set that this is what I'm going to do. So when I went into the office to talk to the boss, he was like, well, you know, and don't get me wrong, it's not like I wasn't paid well, because I was. But the point is, if you are doing the majority of the work and you're working hard, why shouldn't you be paid more? It doesn't matter if you're being paid well. The point is, if you're exceeding that, you're getting in early, sometimes you're working for your lunches. Sometimes, you know, the people are demanding of you more than what they're demanding of other people. Why shouldn't you be paid more? Do you know what I mean?
Aoife said, I also have advanced certification with trauma support and a specialist and other specialist areas accredited certifications. My niche areas are varied, including psychology, CBT, DBT. Wow.
I know, Aoife, you've got quite a lot.
I was going to say that's really impressive. Going back to Kelly's point, though, just remember though, you're not necessarily paid for the hours you work. It is the niche, and it is. What was interesting is when I looked at certain CVs and stuff, people were saying, "Oh, I should get paid more because I do so much work." It's not about, you don't get paid extra money for the work you do necessarily. A lot of it is around the responsibility you have.
Yeah, for sure.
So things like, are you a budget holder? Are you in charge of larger numbers of staff? The qualifications of those staff.
Yeah,
that's what pushes your pay up.
Yeah, and I was the only qualified person.
Yeah.
On that staff, I was the only qualified person. I was the only one that was doing more work than anybody else, and all of that type of stuff. And when you put those things together, and you are going over and above what you are, like a lot of offices, which I think is wrong. They want you to work overtime, right, but not pay you for it. Now, I don't agree with this, because I believe in work-life balance. Now, if I'm going to sacrifice time at home, right, which is essentially what it is, because you spend more time at work than you do with your family, right? That's a given. You spend more time at work than what you do with your actual family in your house. Now, I believe if you're going to work over those hours, so let's say your general is 35 hours. However, you're going to work 40 to 45 hours, maybe even 50 hours, maybe even more. Why should you not be paid for that extra? Because that time is coming out of your family time, or what you should be spending at home. Now, there should be some type of reward for that. That's how I feel. And I'm not saying I'm not saying if you are doing a few hours extra here or a few hours extra there. I'm talking about constant. You're constantly uh doing extra work. You're constantly going over and above what you should be doing. And I think that's what needs to be rewarded. The hours that you're putting in, the blood, sweat, and tears, the stress that you are taking on should equal that should, they should pay you for that. That's how I feel.
Aoife said, she also does counselling, hypnotherapy, and what's NIP? Health and social care, post nursing out of today. I undertook a drug awareness course and scored 100%. Wow. I also have coaching and image and style consultancy and many holistic therapies. When you've got that many skills, you can do such a wide range of
When
things.
are you going to start your business?
Yeah, I was going to say, you'll never be out of work.
You keep taking all these courses, but I'm waiting for you to start your business. Come on.
So Tanika said, I find hourly pay can really leave you short now, as it limits the amount you can get stroke reasonably ask for.
Yeah.
I find, even from a psychological perspective, asking for, say, £25 an hour sounds a lot higher than asking for £175 a day.
Yeah.
As Kelly mentioned, the constant overall time isn't accounted for.
Yeah.
Well, you are better off asking for a daily rate, because then obviously, like you say, you don't get, with a daily rate, they expect you to work the day. So normally about 7 hours plus. That's normally the daily rate for that. But obviously as well, you'll be paid for to deliver the projects. NLP, sorry, not NIP.
NLP.
Sorry.
I just want to give you an example. So about 14, 15 years ago, I worked for a temping company at £10 an hour, right? Now, that wasn't a lot then, £10 an hour. And when I went into, I registered with an agency end of last year, and they said, oh, what is your, they've got a job. And I said, well, what's the rate? And she said £12 an hour. Now, when you think about it, and you were earning sort of like, I would say about 14, 15 years ago, you were earning £10 an hour. Are you telling me that they've only raised it to an extra £2 an hour? That to me is.
But going back to my original point, remember, you're not paid to what you earn, your worth. You're paid to what you've negotiated.
Yeah.
And that's we're a bit lagging. I've noticed it's lagging a little bit. So again, this is why you'll find that in a team, say there's a team of 5 people doing exactly the same job, you often find not everybody's paid the same, even though they got the same job, same responsibilities, same hour. The reason being is for many, I mean, sometimes it's just that the pay levels will be a certain factor anyway, but even pay scale, sorry. But even then, you'll find some people on the lowest, some people on the highest.
Yeah.
Some of it will be because they've been there longer and they just
exactly.
they jump up. But a lot will be because of what they negotiated. Right. So when they came into a new job, they'll say, right, it's between A and C, whatever. Let's say A is, again, I'm going to use a very low figure, just unrealistically. So say A is 10,000, but up to 15,000. Some people negotiate near the top. So it's really about what you negotiate.
There was a girl that I used to work with. There was no higher level. We were both, I started before she did. I started 4 months before she did. Now I negotiated my rate. She came in, she's younger than me. And she found out that I was getting paid more than her. And she was very upset, and she took it out on me. She stopped talking to me and things like that, as if it was my fault. And then she turned around and she said to me, she talked to me about problems at home, how she wasn't treated correctly. And now she's found out, she's come to work and she's also hasn't been treated correctly. Well, first, you can't bring stuff from home into work because that's 2 separate things. But also, it's not my fault if I negotiated and you didn't. And also, not only that, but I'm fully qualified and have lots of experience, and you know, and this is not even taking into consideration age at this point, right? So we're just going on the basics of when you are hired for a role, whether you're fully qualified and how much experience that you have. Unfortunately, sometimes that is to do with age. If
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah,
more
yeah.
experience than the other person, and so if you have been in that sort of customer facing environment for however many years,
Hi,
and
Evelyn.
hey Evelyn, and the girl that I was working with had only had one other position prior to this one, then you know that it is what it is. And she said, oh, I was brought in saying that I was going to be sort of higher than you, or you know, kind of being above you. And I said, above me? How can you be if you don't even have the qualifications? It didn't make sense what she was saying. Now I don't know what was said in her interview, so I can't go by that. But the only thing that I can say was that I negotiated, she didn't, and I had the qualifications and she didn't. I had more experience than what she had. Hence, those were my justifications. Not that I needed to make any justifications to her. Why she stopped talking to me, I have no idea. You need to go and speak to the bosses. Not, do you know what I mean? Not to me. So yeah, that was the
There you
thing.
go. So Eva said the holistic therapies range from 45 minutes to an hour coaching, hypnotic, and bundle session.
Mm,
I do coaching sessions. I've done coaching session trainings actually. It's quite interesting to do.
mm.
Tanika said, "Oh no, that wasn't your fault. No, it wasn't Kelly's fault at that time." Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Eva said, "I wanted to come on to this actually to change subject."
Mm,
Eva said about image and style consulting will be charged by
mm.
the hour or the day. We will come on to image consulting because that's another thing actually that can work in your favor. Tanika said, Aoife, I hope I spoke your name right. I could do with some style consulting. Do you know what? Actual fact, many years ago when I was at work, a different place, our office did offer style consulting. So a
Oh,
style
did they?
consultants came. This is in a previous place I worked for,
Mm.
and they brought them over. And it's funny, they were quite brutally honest. They look you up and down and they would say, right, if I were you, I would cut your haircut style like this. You with your complexion, your look, wear this color shirt, always wear a suit jacket. This is what they said to me at the time. Now, bear in mind, this is back in the late 1990s. Wear this type of suit. Always wear a jacket like this. And it was funny when I looked at it and listened to it. I thought I could see how that would work
Mm.
because it really does give an image that I used to work with
Yeah.
a woman many years ago. She never did any work, but she was dressed immaculately, and she'd always wander around with a clipboard. She didn't do anything, but she always looked very important. She was dressed very nicely, and I always had the impression that she was high up
Yeah.
because of the way she dressed and the way she walked. A very
Powerful.
dominant, powerful walk.
Yeah.
And she always had very nice clothes. You could tell she always spent a lot on her clothes and her image. Immaculate hair, always had the right makeup on, never
Yeah.
overdone. So it was like that. But it was very interesting that my unconscious thought of her was the fact that she was high up in a higher
Yeah.
position. And she was always busy because she was always walking around the clipboard. It then later transpired, obviously, that you can only carry that thing for a certain amount of time. People say, nah, she doesn't do any work.
Mm.
So she had been found out, but it always gave that impression.
Yeah. I think that I've never really believed in like dressing a certain way and all of this, but I do know people that have. And yes, it does. There was a woman that I so that one of the places that I worked at, worked in loads of places, but one of the places I worked at, and it was for a law firm. And the I didn't get on with my supervisor at the time. I thought she would come in. So I would have been there from so my shift I was working a 9 to 5. So I got in and I would start work, and you know, I when I work, I really work. I really, but I make it look easy. And it's it's one of those things that's quite annoying, really, because when you make it look easy, people think you're not working. And I
Yeah,
don't
that can
like,
be a
and
misconception.
yeah,
Yeah.
that can be a mix. But anyway, I worked very hard. And the so my boss, she'd been working there 6 months longer than I had. So I came in 6 months later. her shift was from 11 till
Mm.
7. She would get in and she would start doing her makeup. So not do anything. So I was working away, and she was doing her makeup and all of this and making herself look whatever, powerful, if you want, for want of a better word. But she would be now, I'm not one of these people that comes in and does her makeup and all of this type of stuff. I come in and I'm gonna work. This is me. I've just traveled on the tube or whatever. I've come, I'm working for you. I'm gonna do the best, go to the best of my ability and all this. She would get in at 11, my boss get in at 11, doing her makeup, blah blah blah. Then she would go and sit in with our boss, right? So we had a boss above us, and she would sit there until 12:30, right? So you've come in at 11, it's now 12:30, you've hour and a half, you've not done any work. It's just been me doing work. I would go for lunch at 12:30. Then I would come back at 1:30, and then I would go and cover whoever upstairs and come down. And we were supposed to take it in turns. However, it always seemed to be me that was doing the work. But anyway, so this went on for a few months. And there was one thing that I did which I fully accept, which was we had a 15-minute break in the morning and we had a 15-minute break in the afternoon. She was getting on my nerves so much that sometimes I'd be gone for 20 minutes, and she pulled me up on it, and I said, "Do you know what? You're absolutely right. I'm going." So at that point, once she spoke to me about it, I would get back 2 minutes before the end of my break to make sure that I was sitting down ready to work. And this went on for a few months, and then I just thought, am I the idiot here? So I went in. So she went on holiday. I went in and I spoke to my boss and I said, "Look, this is what's happening. She's getting in." I didn't say, she's doing her makeup and stuff like that. I said, however, she's getting in. Nobody's sitting on the board, blah, blah, blah. So the boss said, "Okay, I'll speak to her." Then they both called me into a meeting, and my boss said to me, so the one that I wasn't getting along with, she goes, "Oh, I just wanted to check, are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I've been okay for the last 2 weeks." Obviously she'd not been there for the last 2 weeks. And she's like, "Oh, because there seems to be a little bit of animosity." Well, I was so mad, I had to sit on my hands, and I was just like, right, okay. And everything that I had spoken about with our boss, who was in the meeting, so we had our boss and my boss, and I had spoken with the higher boss, and so I went through the correct chain of command, and she didn't say anything. She just sat there and almost agreed with what was being said. Now, luckily, there is a data machine, so it marks all your all the things that you've done throughout the day. So what I did, I printed off. So I went to HR to complain.
Hi, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie. And then I printed off all this data. I marked the times that I was actually picking up calls and doing things and whatever. And then I ringed the manager's one, right? Which was not anything compared. So I had the evidence, which was nothing compared to what I was doing. In fact, in her pile, there was complaints from other people. But yet they didn't seem to take that on board. They didn't seem to take on board. Now, I realized that they probably realized they made a mistake taking on this other lady. She was working for another company, a very, very good company, by the way, prior to this one. And the other company was better than this one. And I'm thinking, why did you leave that? There was no correlation to why. Just, oh, yeah, I just left. And I just thought, But it just shows you that sometimes I just thought to myself, right, can I, even if this was all cleared up, could I still work with this woman? And that is the question, isn't it? You can disagree with somebody, or you can maybe not. It might, something, when you bring something up, might spoil your chances. But at the end of the day, with all the negativity and all of that type of stuff, you have to make that decision, because it could be the decision that you may have to forego whatever it is. And it was a really good job, by the way. It was a fantastic job.
Oh wow, Charlie got 681 followers. Well done, Charlie.
Wow.
Oh, just on a side, I'll come back to the image style. We saw your live, Charlie. We watched the replay of your live you had on the other day. I left some comments actually on some of your videos as well, so I hope you got those, and I hope you like them. Tanika said, "You guys are giving me a boost now and confidence to negotiate." Good. Yes, I would love a style image consultant, Tanika was saying. Do get it checked out because it really is worth having a look. One of the things I do sometimes, I know it doesn't look like because I know nothing about style, but one thing I do look on that is I always look at what a man should dress in their 40s.
Yeah, you do.
And that if you look at that, there comes up with some really good ideas. So I always do it by the age and gender. So that might help you as well
But
with the style imaging.
I also think sometimes you don't look like your age. So uh
Oh, I do.
when I go in and I'm just like, but again, like we were saying about the image and stuff, I believe in a lot of it. Like when you go to an airline and you see them all done up, I through one of my college courses because I did a hotel course, and we had to go to this famous. It was famous at the time. I don't know if it's well known, but it was Joan Price, and they taught you how to put your makeup on. However, unfortunately, they weren't used to dealing with somebody with color. Unfortunately. So when they did my makeup, it was just like no. But you just sit there and you go because you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings because these are girls in training and you're going that's nice.
Eva said image, style, and color and tone of the cut of the material gives available. So again, that's on the image style. Tanika said I had a co-worker who once was very slim and did no work, but even brought her pet to work, etc. I didn't say anything to management. Then the co-worker ended up going to managing and making up lies about me. Oh my God! I supposed to get a new job. I was paid more. There's a lot of that in politics. I learned a lot from that experience, and you do that. The best way to grow is that you always the best way to grow is facing tricky situations.
Yeah.
Sahinas, hello.
Hey,
She said
Gina.
hello. Oh, good evening. Lots of love again from Sahinas in India and all
Oh,
my
bless
friends.
you.
Today, my new video recipe Bombay. Is it? Oh, Bombay Karachi Hawa. Oh, the sweet Hawa. Hawa's the sweet, isn't it? Is that the one?
I don't know.
Yes, Hawa's. I've had that as well. Is that the one made from carrot? Correct me if I'm wrong. There's an Indian sweet I love from carrot. But how are you? I hope you're okay. I have been watching your videos. I've left a few comments on your videos because it was looking amazing. So I particularly like your banana fritters. Eva said, if you don't style yourself in what works for your body shape and even colors and patterns, and all over one tone color or varying tones or without contrasting colors, it does send vibes.
Yeah.
So you're saying, so if is what you're saying is dress for your shape. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I do need to do that, because I think I've got loads of shirts, but I'll be brutally honest. I've got so many of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I've not bought a shirt in years, particularly because obviously we've been in the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I sort of regurgitating the ones I have.
But Mark's quite lucky because he stays quite trim.
So yeah.
So yeah, so you can have your shirts for years.
But
The rest of us who gain weight, we can't keep the same things.
Well, to be fair though, I sometimes do wonder though because they are old. If they the good thing with male shirts, if you buy a plain one, they can last for years. Obviously, you have to replace them after a while when they get shabby, but they can last for a while because that style remains.
Yeah.
Tanika said, "Do you guys watch Married at First Sight? If so, what do you think of these shows? They're getting married to strangers, but watched by experts."
I think that some of these experts, and I was saying this to you the other day, I reckon that they don't match that some of the couples they do match up correctly, and I think on purpose they don't match up the correct couples, and then let them get married and then bring other couples in and they match some of the other couples. That's what I think, to create.
Well, Kelly and I had this debate about it. We do watch Massa, obviously, as you can probably tell. I do like it as well, but I do my my take on it is I do think some are matched genuinely. And if you think about it, it's got about marriage success is about 50% in this country, so it's quite low. So again, they have a similar success rate. The thing I would say is I get the impression some people are married because they're matched, but some people I do genuinely think are matched for entertainment purposes. And I do genuinely think that some of the couples you see matched, you think there's no way I could have told them, and I'm no expert, that this couple would never work. It would never work. In actual fact, it's only going to generate fireworks. So I do genuinely think some couples are matched for entertainment purposes.
Yeah. And yeah, when I've looked at the couples and I'm thinking, right, okay, well, she's one woman asked for a certain type. She didn't get that certain type. However, all of a sudden, the certain type has arrived in who is with somebody else. And I'm just like, but it could have worked with the other person if the other person had just toned down a little bit.
Seeing as, yes, I got your messages. I'm good. Hope you're both fine. Yes, we are
Oh,
well,
we are.
actually.
Thank
Mark,
you.
just check today's recipe thumbnail. How's if it's possible. I will check that today. I will be looking at your recipes as well. I do want to have a go at making your banana one as well. With your banana fritters, do they have to be unripe? So green bananas. That's what I wanted to check. Could you use ripe bananas or should you use the unripe ones?
I'm assuming if you were going to fry ripe bananas, though, it'd go mushy.
No. She boils them. No, she boils
Oh,
them first and then
right.
mushes them up with potato.
Oh, right.
That's how she
Oh,
did
I
it.
see.
Oh, good theory, says Tanika. You see, it could be a thing. I do think that. I think some of them are done for genuine purposes because they want to have some success story. If everybody left, then it wouldn't be much of a show.
Yeah.
But I do think some of the fiery ones, like when Duca was matched with Whitney, there's no way. I could have told them from the off, this is never going to work. It's just never going to work. Tanika,
I'm trying not to mention names.
Tanika said, I love maths. Lol. What's your thoughts on Kwame? Him not letting Keisha see his house was a red flag. Just a bit.
There were more red flags before that.
The biggest red flag, I think, was the fact that he asked to be left out of the experiment. My opinion is that Kwame wants to leave, but he doesn't want to put leave on the card. I think he wants to be seen as good. So I think he's thinking, I just want to leave the show and then tell her separately, and then it won't be seen on public television.
The red flag. There was red flags from the wedding, from when he saw her. Right, just from the look that he gave her, I said to Mark, he wanted a different body shape. He didn't want that body shape that he got, and then so that was the first red flag. From the way he looked at her, that was the first red flag. The second red flag is when he actually said it. He said, "Oh, she's not the usual shape I go for, or I like petite, blah blah blah." But I knew it from the moment that he looked at her, which is quite the opposite to a lot of guys, really.
Oh, but, Richard, hello, how are you?
Hey, Richard,
Richard
how
said
are you?
Spooky vibes. Check out our spooky vibes. So we've got some new little purchases from Starbucks. That's the pumpkin mug. We just had a Starbucks in there.
Yeah.
So Starbucks, we are really promoting you now, and we don't get any freebies.
No, we buy our stuff. Yeah.
Oh, so Hina says, yeah, the banana recipe is healthy and it's so tasty, but people may not like it. Could you use plantain? Oh, I suppose that wouldn't work. It has to be banana. No, I think it would have to be banana for the sweetness.
Plantain is sweet though.
Yeah, I just wondered, could you use plantain?
Plantain is
because you used unripe bananas. I noticed you used green bananas, so I just wanted to know if you could use that as well. But it does look like I do want to try that recipe. Tanika said, yeah, I agree. I have no idea what he is thinking. This is Kwame. I get the impression he isn't into her as well. I wonder why he stays and leads her on though.
But the thing is, he's got his own business and she's got her own business. So I think he's in it to promote his business.
Oh, that's true.
And I think some of the others are in it for their Instagram or their TikTok or whatever it is.
Eva said, "Oh, Kelly, you're my sister figure, whom I adore with all my heart. How nice!
Thank you.
Where are we?" Tanika said, "Oh, that mug is cute. That is, isn't it?"
Thank you.
Sini has says hello to Richard. Richard said, "Oh, dates for your diary. Oh, Battersea Power Stations opens on the 14th to the 29th of October, and a vintage car show in Greenwich on the 15th. Oh, right. That's interesting for Battersea."
Yeah, for Battersea is interesting. I'm not really into cars. I'm just trying to think who. Oh, I do have a member of my family though who is into cars. He might want to go. Steph might want to go.
Yeah, I'll have a chat with Steph. Tanika said the irony is his business is a relationship podcast.
Is that what his business is?
Yeah, didn't you see that at the beginning? That is true.
Do you know what? I don't know why, but I thought his business was a barber. But right, I see. Well, that's the reason why. And the fact that he doesn't want to let her. Why did you enter into the experiment if you didn't want people to come to your house? That's all part of the experiment. But I think he thought he was going to leave well before then. But the thing is, what I notice about Kwame, he's very good with words, right? And if you watch him, all his sentiments are empty. They are all empty words. So when he was at the beginning, oh yeah, we haven't been intimate together because I don't want. It's all empty. He had no intention, unless the woman had been his type, then he would have been down for that.
Yeah.
He would have been down for that. But because she is not his type, and he doesn't want to be seen as blah blah blah. Now that he's sort of given into it and thought, but he has no intentions to be seeing this woman. And I feel like Keisha should be more, but when you're in it, I suppose, and you want something to work, because Keisha does want it to work, it's very difficult to see. Very difficult.
Do you know what? I was just about to say that Whitney is his type, not verbally, because I don't think they would get on, but looks wise, that's his type.
I don't even think looks wise. I think body wise, he's her type, but I don't think looks wise, she's his type.
Eva said, Tanika, now that Mark and Kelly are sort of getting to know me, Kelly would not be impressed if I went on Married at First Sight. Oh my God. If you went on Married at First Sight, I'd be, whoa. Richard said, I've been invited to the BBC VIP music concert.
Wow.
Film if I can.
Yeah,
do go.
Sure.
That'll make a brilliant video.
It will do.
I don't know if you'll be allowed to film in there.
You might be.
Eva said she saw the episode last night. Was there one last night? We must have missed that.
Oh, I'll have to have a look.
Tanika said, yeah, I agree. The poem he wrote was awful too. I think the poem he wrote, I remember the poem he wrote. I can't remember how it went.
The thing is, I feel like he is just a talker. And I just think to myself, like, I'm sure the experts know that he's talking a good game, but they're not saying that the man is talking a good game, because from the moment that man opened his mouth, I just thought, he's just talking nonsense. And I knew it from the moment of the wedding. I knew that he was talking nonsense, and I just thought, first of all, he's not serious. And then I didn't think he wasn't serious at first. I thought, right, well, this girl is not for him. And then when he was chatting after the wedding, and when he was chatting on the honeymoon, I just thought, this guy's just full of it. He is just, but I didn't know what his job was. But I knew that he was a business owner and she was a business owner. But I think her business is a proper business, is it? Not saying that podcast isn't a proper business.
No. Yeah, she has her own business. I think it's in fashion, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
It's so long ago, that first episode, I don't remember.
Yeah, see, I remember these things, but I didn't quite remember what her business was. But I think hers is what I mean to say is, I think hers is a physical business, whereas his is more like the podcast and stuff like that. And I feel like I can't trust it, because I feel like, is he doing this? Now that I know it's a podcast, I feel, is he doing this for his podcast? So like,
possibly.
To talk about it on his podcast, talk about the experience.
I've got to say, some of those people in there, I'm pretty sure they're doing it for
Instagram. And
well, for social media.
For the Insta.
I think Duke is doing it for social media.
Yeah.
I think Whitney's doing it for social media.
Yeah.
I'm pretty convinced Kwame's doing it for social media.
Oh, for sure.
And it wouldn't surprise me if some of the others are, but they just haven't. They just kept a lower thing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tanika said, just looks wise for Whitney. Richard said, met up with the misled ragdolls again.
Oh, right.
Oh, did you?
Good.
So they made a fab video. Oh, great. We'll look for that. Please tell me when you've uploaded that, Richard. What other videos have you got Halloween-wise coming up? I'm just interested. Tanika said, Aoife, sorry, it would be an adventure, lol. If you in another life as another person, I would go on it. I know I've got to say, even if I was 20 years younger and single and wasn't with Kelly, I still would not go on.
Yeah, but you know what? Because I feel like we are in a different, we were brought up in a different time. And I feel like now everything is digital. So when people meet up, it's pretty much online. When people get together, it's pretty much online, and all of this stuff. There's an online generation that me personally, don't quite understand. Like with me, it was always, you get together, you talk, and you this and you that, and you meet a guy. You might meet a guy, whether like we did in an acting class or in the supermarket, which was popular back in the day, or you went out on a night out and you meet someone, or you meet someone at work or something like that. But a lot of it now is all there's a festival somewhere, and you're all on Insta talk, or people join Insta, or people contact you through Insta or some other social platform media, and you're all getting together, and then you're going to the festival, you meet up at the. Now I have never, that would never occur to me to go online, and it would occur to me to join maybe like a theatre group online that was local to me or something, and then doing something like that. But yeah, it's all festival. My friend, she meets people all the time when she's on the gram or Insta or however you want to call it these days, and going to a festival here, there, and everywhere, and meeting guys and all of this. I'm just like, oh my god.
So Eva said,
Different
nah,
worlds.
Tanika, cows wouldn't be pleased with me if I went on. Tanika said, what are your thoughts on April and George? They seem so miserable, in my opinion. And even Eva said, no, April and George are a no-no. Now, there has been, I'm not going to repeat them on here, because obviously, but there have been certain rumours about George.
Yeah.
So I'm not convinced. I think he sounds very, he always seems to be like upset all the time and miserable, and
Oh, she has a resting bee face, I feel. Like it's very much like she looks miserable. But also I think that I'm not sure if she was genuine to begin with. But I think that sometimes, even if you're not genuine, sometimes you can fall into it and get involved emotionally in it. Like with Kwame, he's not involved, he's not invested emotionally whatsoever. But you can tell with April, although she's miserable, she's invested emotionally in this thing. But I don't know if when she went into it, maybe she wanted to lift her profile. Obviously, being previous Miss Great Britain or whatever
yeah.
it was. I think that yeah, maybe she came in with a certain point of view or with a certain point of something. I'm not sure. But they're both miserable and they shouldn't be together.
Hold the phone, hold the phone. Richard is having French fantasies and eating him now, but that's not why I hold the phone. Richard said there's a random person who types on my video comments and turns out she's a famous singer.
Oh.
And she has a crush on me. Lol.
What singer is this?
Beyonce, clearly.
Oh, obviously.
No, who's a famous singer? Are you prepared to reveal, or are you going to keep it? Are you not going to say? I don't want to obviously do it, but a famous singer, Richard. I'm intrigued. Tanika said, yeah, I hate the social media element of dating these days. I would struggle if I was single. I don't want the look of the apps, etc. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's a whole new ballgame now.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I like, not that I don't understand the apps themselves or the digital. I don't understand, like, oh my god, like swiping to the left, swiping. What would I do? I don't understand it all.
Oh, Franny Breaker, she's Polish. I've not heard of her.
Never heard of her.
But I was going to say, actually, that I don't know many singers. I'm going to be honest with you.
I know some singers.
But, oh, that's interesting. I'm going to Google her later. So has she been leaving a lot of comments on you? I did leave some comments. I promise I don't fancy you. But I did leave some comments on your thing as well, because we really like some of your videos. I was catching up with yours the other day, so I did leave some comments on there. Very good. Now Halloween is coming, says Tanika. I'm going to attempt to make Halloween pizza, making the mozzarella into goat shapes and using olives for the eyes.
Halloween pizza.
When you said Halloween pizza, I was going to ask, are you going to put pumpkin on it? But I wasn't sure if you were going to do that. Obviously not a mug, but
I don't know how pumpkin would go on a
no,
pizza.
It wouldn't. The trouble is with pumpkin is it's so full of liquid.
No, you'd have pumpkin soup though.
Oh yeah, pumpkin soup we could do, or parsnip soup we could do. What was I going to say? Wow, Franny Breaker. Wow.
Never heard of her.
There you are. So you've got a famous singer. Well, just because she's not famous, we haven't.
No,
doesn't mean they're not famous.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they're probably famous in Poland.
True. Holistic therapist and coach. Oh, sorry, that's Aoife. What am I talking about? Aoife said on my VOD BBC invite. She only caught up with last night on the Kwame episode.
Right, I see.
So Aoife's been doing the catching up. Or perhaps they would do a spider cupcake with spun sugar for the webs. I love a theme, as you can tell. We can tell.
Yeah.
Actually, we kind of do that.
You love Halloween, though.
Well, we segue from Halloween decorations into Christmas decorations. Because it's such a pain. I've got to go into the loft, bring all the Christmas decorations down. It takes ages.
It's not. It's because he loves the way the room looks at Christmas.
Well, so what I do
Don't
is
try.
I bring it down as early as possible. So I do bring them all down in November and start setting them up then. So I'll have all the Christmas decks up by late November. They'll all be up. So I can get as much out of them as I can.
Yeah.
But yeah. On the theme side as well. How are your French fancies, Richard? Have you got, what ones are you going for? My favourite's got to be the pink one. I don't know why.
I like the chocolate one. That's my favourite. The chocolate French fancy.
I never get to have that one.
Please.
No,
if you like the pink one, you can have all the pink ones.
No,
I don't like them.
One. That's my favourite one, the pink one. But yeah, it's good to have a theme on it. We've got so many pumpkins and various bits. If we took you around the house, you'd be able to see all
amongst all the junk.
Yeah, we've got a lot of junk though, so I'll keep that quiet. Although we are going to purchase some new stuff on Halloween, which we will reveal a bit later on. Yes, you were looking at it the other day on a stall. We've got one downstairs.
Oh. Yeah. I was like,
there you go.
Couldn't remember. I was
trying to drop hints, so I didn't want to ruin the surprise.
I'm getting a little bit warm now. Take off my.
Richard said, my Xmas lights stay up all year, but tied LED light strips, custom the colours to the season. Do you know what? I've got to say, I have gone to people's houses where they've got Christmas decks up. So I went to one person's house in September and there was Christmas decks up. I was like, oh God, you've got your decks up early. And they said, nah, love, they've been up there since.
They do. I don't know if anyone has seen it, but they do like a summer Christmas, which is in like halfway. I think it's on like the 24th of June or something like that, or 25th of June, where they do a Christmas in the sort of summertime. And I just feel that's strange, but really cool at the same time.
I've got a new person. Hello, Touche McBoosh Pineapple. Ooh. Hello, Touche McBoosh. Evening, Kelly and Mark. I hope you're both well. We are. How are you?
How are you?
Do you prefer chilly weather or hot summer days?
Hot summer days.
So Kelly and I are very, very similar. We don't like cold weather. Actual fact, I don't know about you guys, but we find this quite depressing this time of year. However, that being said, there is a woman I work with who always says to me she hates the summer. She loves winter.
I know plenty of people that love winter.
She absolutely loves winter. And she said to me as well, when it's hot and warm, she can't wait for summer to end and autumn to end and then winter to begin.
I don't mind the build up to Christmas and New Year. So I don't mind it being cold. I just don't like it when it rains and it snows. I like it when it snows. I don't like it when it's ice. So when it turns to ice.
Well, Sahina said, oh, Kelly, just enjoying your talk.
Oh, bless you.
Sahina as well, what is the temperature in India at the moment? So, of course, Sahina's is in India. So I'm imagining the temperature is obviously a lot warmer than it is here in the UK. But yes, I do know, obviously, it's going to get very, very, very hot. So for this year, we got up to 40 degrees Celsius this year, which obviously for the UK is a record. But that is too hot for me. But for me, the perfect temperature is between sort of 24 to 28. Love that weather.
Yeah. And anybody else out there, does anybody prefer hot days or the chilly days, like the summer or the winter? What is it you guys prefer?
Yeah, so putting it to you guys, do you prefer the hot weather or do you prefer the cold winter days? There's a really good question, actually. What is your preference? Do you prefer one or do you prefer in the middle? Is there something that you would say? Now, obviously, as well, now look at this. This is really interesting. So Richard said, a tip, buy tracks for your shoes in the ice, it grips. So yeah, that's something you can actually get for your shoes. But Aoife said much prefer summer, but Richard has said he hates the summer, and he loves the bitter cold.
Oh, no.
But do you know what? Some people do. I told you guys this story. So I had an Irish friend of mine, and he moved to Australia for a year. So basically, where he moved in Australia was hot all year round. It was very, very rarely cold. And he said that he thought he would love it. But he said, do you know what? I really, really, really missed coming in from the cold by a hot fire. He said, I really missed that. He said, I never thought I would. He said, I hated winter before. But he said, I really do miss that.
I don't like being cold at all. I am miserable. when I'm cold and wet. I just don't like them.
Oh, Sahina said here the weather is raining, and here's a big celebration here for Durga Puja. Did I pronounce that properly? Durga Puja. We're enjoying cooking and eating. Holiday going on here. Oh wow!
Nice,
Celebration.
nice.
I think this month is Diwali, isn't it? Is it this month? I'm pretty sure it is. Diwali on the 24th. I think I'm right in saying that.
It changes every year, though,
yeah,
right?
it does. It will change this year. Richard said summer is hay fever. Oh, that will explain why.
Right, okay.
Your Alicia gets big hay fever. Always feel terrible, and my blood cancer makes me itch and super bad with the sweat. Oh, I can see that, and I do get that. Tush McBoo said, hello, I'm good, thank you. Almost suffering with my energy levels. Oh dear. I prefer autumn and winter. See, another one for autumn and winter. Can understand why people don't know. A lack of light can depress people.
Yeah, I do get SAD syndrome. Yeah. And I do suffer from that, but more when it gets to about March time. So when it gets to sort of like February and March time, I feel like the dregs of, do you know what I mean? Not seeing the summer, it being gone. But I don't mind, like I said, from when it's sort of like September up to Christmas and January even, I don't mind it. But it's when it becomes to the end of January, February, and March, I think, oh no, I've had enough now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, do you know what? That's just like me. By the time I get to February, I thought, I am sick of this winter. I am so sick of this cold. But the novelty factor soon wears off, actually. Tanika, I like spring the most. You know what? Spring is one of my favorite times of year because you know it's going to get warm. You see all the everything budding and all the flowers coming, and then you know you've got summer to come.
I liked April this year.
Yeah, that was nice.
April started early. The sun started early, and I quite liked that. We've been lucky the last few years where, well, not 2021 because that rained the whole entire, practically the whole entire year. It was rain.
January, February is my ones I can't stand because you think, right, that's enough of winter now. I'm sick to death of winter.
February, March for me. I just think,
Richard said it's nice to have some warm nights. And warm nights are good. I've got to say that's the whole thing. One of the things though, when it got really hot, 40 degrees, we had the fan on the corner there blaring constantly because it was so hot in here.
And of course, it gives me a little bit of the sniffles in the next day when we have the fan on. So, but there were nights when you just needed it on. Even if you opened up the windows, you needed that fan on.
Aoife said, Mark, can I get a catch up with Kelly next week? We have to have Kelly.
Yeah, we can have a catch up. Yeah, cool. Sounds good.
Richard said, here's a joke. Get yourself a spring and hide round the bend of your house and get someone to find it and say, spring's around the corner. But a thumb. That's a good one, actually. Tush McBoosh said, speaking of warm lights, salt lamps are good. Oh, what's a salt lamp?
I've never heard of it.
What's a salt lamp? Do tell us, actually, because that's interesting. Is it something you make yourself or is it something you can buy?
Do you know, like, so I've been watching, so I watch a lot of TikTok. Do you know how addictive TikTok can be? Even sometimes when we're laying down, when we're in bed and about to go to sleep, I'll watch it. Mark will watch them with me, and it's just like to the next one. And but sometimes you get some really good hacks on there. Anyway, somebody was talking about getting a terracotta pot that you would plant, and 3 candles, and you turn them upside down, so you light the candles, and that produces an amazing amount of heat and heats the room. So without having to use, obviously, electricity. Now, 3 candles don't burn that sort of hot, but once you put the terracotta pot on, that heats up really quickly and produces heat in the room. So one of those hacks.
Richard said, oh yeah, now just before I go on there though, be careful. Now, the fire brigade, I did read this, said there's been a huge increase in the number of fires with people using candles instead of lights to save electricity. So be very, very careful. I want to put that disclaimer right there. There has been, like I said, there's been an increased report in the fire brigade saying people using candles. So do be careful. Richard said, a joke. Toilet roll falls out of the house window, hits the bottom. Better dumb. Kelly, I love these dad jokes. Keep them coming. I've said all my little dad jokes before. I haven't got many to do. Aoife said Himalayan pink mountain salt, use it on food and use it in the bath. I have seen that's the pink salt.
Yeah, we've got Himalayan pink salt, but we usually use Epsom salts.
Yeah, that's true.
Got Epsom salts.
Does it work though? Is it good for
Yeah.
you?
Is it good for you? And does it work? Is the question.
I've never tried it actually. Do that. V Singularity, hello.
Hey, it's been a while.
How are you?
Happy to see you. I hope you're well.
Hi guys, it's been such a long time. I've been so busy, but I've missed you guys so much.
Oh,
Oh, we
bless
missed you too.
you.
Really nice to see you.
Yeah.
How have you been? We've been really well, thank you. Don't worry, I'll always be a supporter, even though I'm not very active. Oh, and bless you. Thank you so
we
much.
enjoy that you come on whenever you can. Do you know what I mean?
Tush McBoosh said, it's something you buy. It's a dull, relaxing light. So this is talking about a salt lamp. It's something you buy. It's a dull, relaxing light with lots of health benefits. It gives off a calming aroma with it, and it's good when you rest your hands and feet on it. Well, I have to have a look at it. I haven't got my tablet here.
I'll take a look. Do you know what? Because we were looking at things that I want to buy, like a little electric blanket, but not the electric blanket that you put on your bed, but an electric blanket that you could just like a throw. And I've seen them. I saw one in Lakeland, and I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm gonna get it. So I've put it in my basket, ready to purchase. And then there's these little booties, which are also electric, and my feet. Don't they get forever? My hands and my feet. So basically, I get cold just here, my hands, and when it gets really cold, my knuckles really they begin to hurt.
Well,
yeah.
So another thing that we're going to look at buying as well. So in Lakeland, they've got a new person. You guys may have seen it already, but obviously you know you would get an electric blanket you have on your bed. Well, there's a new thing that's just come out now, which is like a rug you put over yourself, like a blanket.
Yeah, throw.
But it's an electric throw. Now we are looking to get it because Kelly does get colds, and we are going to look to get that one as well. So if we do get it, we'll do a little review for you and let you see it.
And I'm going to get the booties as well.
What is when?
Since always, it's in the basket. I'm getting it. I'm putting my feet in because my feet get cold.
Electric booties?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They look like a big one boot. They look like almost, and you just put your feet in and you just...
Electric boot.
I'll be like a granny.
Oh my God. You'll turn you on with this blooming electric. Kelly will be completely plugged in. Well, Richard said, Kelly, put Mark on to stand on the letter X. X marks the spot. Actually, it would be Mark spots the X if you think about it, because I'll be on the X. But yeah, that's really good. Disneyland is a trap set by a mouse. Aoife said, I got a new diagnosis, but only for Kels to know woman to woman. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, don't put it on here because we'll obviously you don't want to share that thing. So yeah, but yeah, when we speak to Kelly, we'll be able to share. Disneyland set by a trap. So talking of Disneyland, we have got a few more little, as you can see, Kelly's going through all her ears, trying those ones as well. We are going to look to buy some more stuff from Disneyland.
These are actual Disneyland ones rather than Disney, and these are also Loungefly. But these are Disneyland for the electric. Or are they? Because they do also have the electric parade at Disney World. But I believe these are Disneyland ears, not Disney World ears. We've not been to Disneyland, but I do want to go at some point.
Oh, talking which, V Singularity said, are you guys planning to go to Disneyland soon?
We will go, but not this year. I'm hoping next year.
So we are going to look, to do that as well, because I think we would love to go back there as well. It's been a while.
I'd like to go twice.
It's only because we haven't been purely because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that stopped us.
Yeah, that's the only thing really.
We were due to go to Mauritius actually in 2020 when the pandemic hit, but of course that got cancelled for obvious reasons. So, but since though we haven't been away, but we'd love to go. So, have you guys got any plans as well to go on holiday at all outside the UK?
Yeah.
Now that a lot of the restrictions are lifted, a lot of you probably have been away already. We did get to go to Brussels, as you saw from our video.
I've still got some editing to do.
We've still got quite a few ones to do there as well, but that's as far as we've got. So we've not made it across the pond yet, but we would love to go very, very soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully when a few more of restrictions have lifted and we can go there fully.
Yeah.
Eva said, Kelly, you and Mark seem so cozy as a couple.
We've been together for I don't know how long.
Yeah, exactly. And also as well, it's years of us doing this together, these lives as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I always think we'd like to have a little buzz together and a good vibe. I like to think we do anyway.
Yeah, we do.
So yeah, and we hope you find it entertaining. But I
don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what we're going to say. So there, that will hopefully be our thing as well. Richard said, I still need to do an overnight train ride. Ah, fantastic. Where were you thinking of going? There's some, actually, Kate, you saw one, didn't you? What was that train ride you showed me the video to?
Oh my goodness, that was a guy.
It was expensive, but you do an overnight train ride. Does it leave from London and it goes? It's almost like, I'll let you think.
He did several. He did several. This specific guy. I don't know if I sent the guy. I sent. I don't know if I sent you the link, Richard, to the guy. But there's a guy, and he pretty much always does overnight travel on cheap and expensive trains. But there was one that he did, and it cost thousands.
Yeah, this is.
But it was so nice, the trip and the room that he got and all of that. Yeah, it was very, very nice.
Oh, Tush McBoosh said we're having our first holiday in 3 years this Sunday for a week in Wales.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I was going to say actually, it'd be like hopefully it'll be nice weather for you. Actually, it's one of those things as well. You can never guarantee nice weather in the UK, but I do hope it's going to be good for you. And how long are you going for? Oh, for what week? Sorry, you did say a week. So you're going for a week in Wales.
On Sunday.
God, I've not been to Wales. So
I've never been.
No, have you not? No, I've been to Wales several times. So I've been to Swansea, never been to Cardiff, and I went on the coast, and I forget the name of the town. This is
I've never been anywhere but England in the UK.
Really?
Yeah, I've never been to Ireland, Scotland, Wales. I've never been to any of them. Yeah.
We'll have to do some more trips. Mark Snog Kelly.
No.
Guess who asked that?
You're always asking. No.
Richard said, want to do GWR as a standard ticket. Lots to use the first class lounge. So GWR. Which
Great Western Railway.
No, I know that, but which one are you going to do in particular? Have you got a specific route you want to do? Do you know, that's one thing we would like to do actually is the carriage ride. I don't think
I'd like to do the one where the sleeper one, but I don't want to do the one when it's like you're pretty much in a capsule and you sharing with other people and all that. I'd like to have a nice bed and you sleep and all of that, not one that you're just stuck in the wall.
Vid Singer said, I always knew you guys always put a lot of effort into your videos, but being away and seeing you guys do lives every single Tuesday and Wednesday, Friday shows it's so much dedication and inspiration. But you know what? We do it because we love talking to you guys as well.
For sure.
We love talking to you guys. And funny enough, we always want to thank you as well, because from the very, very first live that we ever did, we did a live, we started talking. And we were so lucky because people were coming on. They had no idea who we were. They'd seen our videos, but people did come on and start talking to us. So we always be grateful because, without you, we wouldn't be able to do the live.
It's so true.
So our thank you is to you. Richard said Paddington to Penzance. Oh, that would be beautiful in Cornwall. And actual fact, Paddington is the station I get because the Paddington does go to the southwest.
And whenever I hear Penzance, I always think of Pirates of Penzance. And I really, 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 really want to go and see a Gilbert and Sullivan. I love the music to Gilbert and Sullivan shows. Love them.
Aoife said, I want to do a sleeper train private, no others. That would be nice, actually.
Yeah.
That would be nice to do. Would you guys ever consider doing a cruise? So obviously with a train, you're in a sleeper carriage as well, similar to a cruise. Tush McBoosh said, thank you, Mark. Just to say, have a nice change of scenery, to be honest.
Yeah.
Staying just outside Aberystwyth. Okay. I always pronounce that incorrectly. That sounds nice, actually. I hope you have a really, really good time. Are you driving now? Are you getting the train? But I hope you have a really, really good time.
There's a guy, Talk of the Tom, isn't it? Talk of the Tom, and he's from Wales, and sometimes he comes down because I think he was saying that it's only an hour to Bristol from Wales.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and so but he's in Wales, and he comes down.
He's from Cardiff, so that's right. And that's right. Aoife said Cardiff is nice. We've not been. I
definitely want to go.
I've got to say, because Tom always says that there's a lot of food places now in Cardiff. It's really got nothing coming.
And he was saying that there's a wait list. There's so many restaurants that there's an actual wait list
to get in there.
To get into,
These things that I said, Disney Cruise Line is on my bucket list. We were looking at Disney cruises, funny enough. So there are some YouTubers that we follow that do regular Disney cruises. List. But we would love to do because we've done a lot of the parks, as you'll see from your videos we've done from years back. You can see how Kelly never ages if you watch those. But you can see, but when you watch those ones as well, you'll see that that's one thing we've always wanted to do. Eva said, "I love this channel and found a sister in Kelly."
Thank you.
Richard said, "I did a cruise. It was Harwich to Hamburg. Got up to naughty times, good times back in the day." Richard, we will not ask what stays in Hamburg.
I'm telling you,
what
boys on a
Hamburg
cruise.
stays in Hamburg.
Boys on a cruise.
But I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Booze cruise.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, that's quite a trip actually going down to Hamburg. But it sounds like you had good fun. Do you know what something is? It's because I don't travel well. I've always avoided wanting to do a cruise. But I would love to do a sleeper train, right? I think that would be so good. The thing is in the UK, because obviously the UK is quite small, you can pretty much get from one end to the other in a day. So I think you can, unless you do a tower train.
Yeah, and I think, but also I think there was a guy. So when I in previous jobs, I had to book train travel and all of that, and then I remember one of the guys saying, "Oh, he needed to go up to Scotland, but he wanted to do it on a sleeper train because he was going to take the sleeper train, so he actually wanted a bed."
No,
and that I didn't know they did things until he said it. I didn't know they did things like sleeper trains to Scotland.
No, I didn't know that as well.
Never knew, and he wanted to be on one of the beds. But if I was to go on a sleeper train, I'd like to go on a proper where you have a proper bed in the room rather than up against a wall in a capsule, one of them capsule things.
Richard said, "I used to write holiday diaries, now it's vlogs." But yeah, we're glad you do, because we do. I felt so sorry for you actually. I actually even commented on it when I saw you had that donut from Southend, because it was all flat, and I think you were so looking forward to it as well. But if there are better ones, when we go to Southend, you can show us if you like, if you don't mind.
Was it Southend or Isle of Wight?
No, Southend is well.
Southend.
That particular donut was at Southend, excuse me. Eva said, "I want to make enough money to purchase a live abroad wide beam or seagoing replica Dutch barge." Oh wow!
Oh wow! Okay.
Tush McBoosh said, "Never been on a plane or a cruise. Growing up, always went to Wales. Now it owns a piece of my heart." That, do you know what? That's always nice, because you've got that nostalgia of going to a place actually when you went on holiday as a kid. I think that's nice. We always went as a family, my family and I. We went to Paignton every year in Devon. So, and always as well, that always has that nostalgia for me going back there. It's the smell of it. You always get that smell of the seaside, the different things like donuts cooking, fish and chips, the smell of the sea, obviously the seagull sounds as well. As Kelly knows, one little tip I do to try and sleep at night if I can't sleep. So I go on YouTube and I'll put sea sounds, and you get some that goes on for like 10 hours. So I just put earphones in. You can't use the ones around there because you just can't lie on them. And then listen to the sea sound. And that really does send me to sleep, which is nice. Charlie, you got your live stream coming up. I commented on your live stream. Did you see? I did comment on your live stream. No, sorry, not on your live stream. I commented on your other videos. Richard said Clacton-on-Sea was a bad day. Oh, was it Clacton? I thought it was Southend. Sorry, it was Clacton-on-Sea. Eva said Liverpool boating and a motorhome.
Oh, okay. So really travelling across the country, because that's what people do. They get a motorhome and they really travel across the country. I've always been one. I'm not in a motorhome or anything like that, but I've always been one to like travel to different countries, stay in hotels, and I'm a little bit of a princess. I don't know if I could do all the glamping. I don't know if I'm cut out for the glamping, although a motorized home. But then again, what would thing for me about a motorized home is all the showering and the bathroom.
Well, they do say glamping has really gone up.
Yeah, it has. I have to say, I've seen it. Yeah,
it really has gone up in quality. So when I did camping when I was a teenager, which is many years ago,
it's just the proper old camping.
Was proper old. So you set up your own tent, which took hours, and it would bucket down with rain. The facilities were terrible. But now, like I said, with a glamp, you don't need a tent. You just rock up to these places. It's all there for you, all cleaned out. And like I said, you can have a really good time there as well. And there's a lot of mod cons in the tent.
Yeah. It'd be wonderful though if it was like Harry Potter, where it was you go in and it's bigger on the inside and it's like a proper home. That would be brilliant.
Richard said, my October videos, you might notice the spooky vibes in the Tower Bridge going up. Oh, so you went to Tower Bridge. All right, I'll have a little look at that. Tushma said, yes, Mark, ASMR. Yes, exactly. Have you tried any other calming sounds? Rain sounds, white noise? Yes, the other one I like to do is rain. So also jungle sounds. So there's one that does from the Amazon jungle. So you can obviously hear the rain sounds as well, and you can hear all the animals.
I prefer, me personally, I prefer the sea. It's very, very rare that I can't sleep. It's very rare. But if I do, if that ever happens, I put the sea sounds on.
The other one that I would recommend is winter wind sound. So you hear the howling of the wind. I don't know why, but that really does. That's really nice to hear as it whisks. And there's loads that they just go on for hours.
Wisp, wind in the willows.
Yeah, do check out the ones on you. And like I said, the ones on YouTube will go on for hours. People have uploaded them deliberately, so they'll just go on an hour.
Sometimes I just listen to stories though. When I was younger, things like Storyteller and things like that. So sometimes I'll just put on stories and just listen. Obviously, when I was a kid, people used to read me stories. So if I went away with primary school and stuff like that, the teacher would always read stories. Sometimes my dad would read stories, or he'd make up stories, and things like that. So for me, listening to stories will also send me to sleep.
Aoife said you have a cassette, is it toilet and a shower in motorhomes? Okay. Richard said, Tush, I've got a playlist of relaxing videos. Oh, do you, Richard? What ones would you recommend in order to relax? Is there anyone that you would say the sound? Do you guys do that? Do you have a special way of being able to sleep or get to sleep if you cannot sleep? So calming sounds, maybe you put on some sort of smells or something like a candle. Anyway, I won't recommend doing a candle because you never know it's going to burn. But anything that will help you sleep. Eva said, "I live abroad. Oh, living abroad, boating is a home on a hull." Okay. November, I'm looking into relaxing videos. Oh, so this is going to be the theme for Richard. Go on the Play Store. Said Eva. So you can go for them from there. I hope I made a whole different video depending on your mood.
Okay.
That might look. Sahinaz has put a little hand up away. What was I going to say? Sahinaz, do you have any relaxation techniques you can share as well? So we were just talking about how you can help yourself get to sleep if you're struggling.
Yeah, because they have like all these pillow sprays now and all of this. But I used to have a friend, and he always had insomnia, but he had certain habits, and I would say to him, why don't you cut down on this habit or that habit? Because sometimes like a lot of coffee or things like that could sort of like stimulate you and keep you awake. But he'd say, no, it's not that, blah blah blah. Now for me, I'm very different. It doesn't matter what, I could drink a frappuccino whatever time, I'm gonna fall asleep. I fall asleep like that. Mark never used to, but now Mark falls asleep quicker than I do. He's like this. He is out.
See what the videos can do?
Yeah, I mean, even without.
No, yeah, I know.
Yeah, even without, he's like this.
That's because I work hard.
Close his eyes. Yeah, but before, remember, you would be surprised how quickly I fell asleep. You could believe it.
Tush McBush said, "Have you tried meditation?" No, I haven't actually. I haven't tried that.
I haven't tried meditation for a long time. But I don't have any problems in sleeping. But recently, I have been feeling that I should meditate. I do feel that.
Tanika said, mine is an ASMR guy who reads history stories but whispers them. He is French, and the whispering and the accent puts me to sleep in 10 minutes.
Wow.
Oh, Tanika, tonight we shall talk about
horrible history.
Richard said, I have a cat. Plan to make a relaxing cat video. November will be my relaxing video hunt. Okay, so look out for that for Richard's videos. I think they do say actually, if you have a cat, the actual purring of the cat and stroking a cat actually reduces your heart rate and calms you down.
I think they say that about a lot of pets.
Yeah,
it just like calms you and stuff like that. But yeah,
although many years ago my parents had a cat and I'd be asleep in bed and the next thing you hear is this face would come out. I think,
I had a friend and she had a cat, and the cat would just attack. Anytime I saw her, she had scratches. She goes, "Oh yeah, but
I remember that. Yeah, that cat. That's quite a vicious cat.
Yeah.
November will be my relaxing video hunt. Oh yeah, you said that as well. Oh, V Singularity. I listen to soft piano music. It's really nice.
Yeah, that would be one. Yeah, to listen to music. I remember when I was younger. But I know I've never really had. I say that now, touch wood, and then tonight I'll have problems sleeping. But I've never. It's I probably can count on one hand in my whole life when I've had problems sleeping.
Well,
Like
you're
I'm,
lucky.
yeah, I'm very, very lucky. I'm a good sleeper. And but I remember when I was younger, and not because I had any trouble with sleeping, but I used to like to listen to music before I fell asleep, and I would have my earphones. But that was back in the day when it was, but it was just the small over the
Yeah, yeah,
head,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was over the head ones, and you'd fall asleep. It'd get a little bit stuck here, but you'd still listen to it.
Eva said, "Oh, the sound of water lapping." Yeah, so that water thing. You're quite. Are you quite close to the coast, Eva? I think if you are, because then you get that for free. If you
Mm.
are, but yeah, I did think you were close to the coast. I might be wrong though. You did show me roughly where you lived in Ireland. Tush McBoo said, "Do it with headphones, de-stressing, calming, gets rid of migraines and headaches, and lots more. Great
Mm.
benefits." No, thank
Yeah,
you. From what I've done, I would recommend it totally.
yeah.
Uh, Jasmine Thompson is my favorite YouTube singer, says Richard. Some of her songs play with your emotions. I've not heard
No,
of
I've
Jasmine
never
Thompson.
heard of Jasmine
Look at
Thompson.
this. You've got all these singers. He's got a Polish
Yeah,
singer.
I know. But I am going to try the meditation. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I've been pondering a lot. But I will get onto that.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, Eva said no. I thought you were, but I got it wrong. Um, I know you were sort of, I think you're northeast Ireland, aren't you? I say that and I probably got that wrong. Oh, an hour from the coast. Right. Yeah. Um, That's it. Do you know what? If you live in the UK, you're never more than 70 miles from the coast, no matter where you live.
Oh, okay.
These things. By the way, do you guys have any plans for Halloween themed videos this month? We did talk about that. We are. Do you know what? We are back because we are really behind on our
But not
videos.
only that, it's near to your dad's.
Birthday, yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have though quite a few things planned and lined up that we do need to catch up on. So I'm not sure we will do a Halloween.
I wonder if we could do a Halloween food one. Like, is there going to be any places that's going to do, like we do a treats one and we go around? I wonder if there's going to be any Halloween themed ones, like at Milk Train and all of that. I wonder if they're going to do any Halloween themed ones that we
Well,
could try.
I've just said, guys, I'm so sorry. I realised that last week we promised we would do the Costa Coffee ones, and we forgot. You know why? Because we did the
Yeah.
video earlier. That was why.
Yeah.
So we will do that. We will do that very, very soon. I promise
Yeah.
you, we will do that. We did promise we would do that.
Yeah,
So
we will do it.
we are going to review the new autumn drinks that have come out. We should have done that today, but we forgot. So apologies for that. Rich is going to say the most awesome long comment on his videos gets your comment pinned. So there you are. If you watch that, we should do something similar actually and pin a nice comment.
I do pin comments.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I do pin them.
Now, 7:30.
Yeah.
Thing. So we unfortunately, guys, we've got to go earlier today. I'm afraid. So
Hence, I started.
Yeah, so we started slightly earlier. So I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there. I do say unfortunately because we're having such a good time doing
such a good time.
But that's it for Mark and Kelly's trips, tips, and things this week. Oh, I say this week, today. I always say that thinking it's Friday. Wishful thinking. But we will be back Friday, 6 p.m. our normal usual time. Oh no, Richard just joined. We're just about to go. Richard said I stream space ambient music. Bye both. Oh, so we're back on Friday.
Yes.
We would have stayed on, honestly, we were going to stay on, but unfortunately we've got to go. Always a pleasure joining you, and it's been a pleasure. We want to say a lovely chat. Please do join us again because we always enjoy your chats as well. We love chatting to you guys. I'm so sorry, Richard. It was just a day we've got to finish early, but we will be back at our usual time at 10 o'clock. But then we would 10 o'clock. I'm losing the plot. We will be back Friday 6 p.m. normal time. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and don't forget Bake Off is on tonight.
Oh yes, there you are, and maths as well if you're into that. So we will leave it there. Have a fantastic week. Do look after yourselves. Please take care. And remember, you are never too old to have fun. Until Friday, we will say bye-bye for now. We will look forward to seeing you on the live then. Bye for now.
Bye for now.